nice fashion to kick back towards the wing for Lady. Left now, lines the mark. It's coming back. Ox is the biggest man there.
G'day guys, welcome to Red Time. Jared Barker, Mason Cox, back for episode 21, and it is time for finals footy. We're finally there, although we do need to wait for a week because we have the pre-finals bye. Mason, how...
Hold on, the season's not done. Gold Coast still has to play us in a big game.
Tonight, by the way, we are recording this on a Wednesday, unfortunately, so we can't talk about it too much because it will date very quickly, but a week to go into a finals, as I said. How's your week been? Hitting the fairways or some time off?
I haven't hit the fairways yet this weekend.
It has been pissing down, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been terrible. Yeah. It feels like a tornado. I felt like I was back home over the week. No, it's been good. It's been pretty cruisy. I think because we have obviously this pre-finals bye, it's a bit more relaxed this week, and then you'll kind of feel the pressure of finals really ramping up next week, and excitement really because this is why we play really.
Yeah, Adelaide, Collingwood in Adelaide, qualifying final next Thursday night. So a lot to look forward to. The club must be pretty excited, though, scraping into the top four in the end. You needed to win last week. You got that done, but you had to rely on some other results going your way. Port got up for Ken, which gave you a big boost, and as I said, snuck into the top four in the end. So back in finals after a 1-year hiatus must be pretty exciting.
It was quite funny because after the game, obviously, the Port game was almost identically
basically
like the same time, right?
Yeah.
And we finished up, and then it was as soon as I think Fly finished his press conference, like a lot of probably 20 people were stuffed into this back room watching a television, watching Port Adelaide kind of go back and forth with them. And as soon as the result fell our way, everyone was pretty stoked in there. So
what were the nerves like when you're watching the game like that?
Oh, you're just kind of like, well, because it was close. I don't think it was going to go one of two ways, right? It's either going to be a blowout where it was just kind of like, all right, sweet, or it was going to be close and they played for Ken and Boki. So it was good for us, obviously. And I'm a big Ken fan. I think we've talked about this on the podcast.
We all are.
I know. I feel like everyone is. I think he copped a lot of heat for no reason for a long time. Adelaide people are very pointy with their feedback. But no, I think it was a great opportunity for Ken to kind of go out and be able to have a bit of an applause and appreciation for what he's done for that club for such a long time. So also great for us.
It is.
Which doubled up.
Yeah.
So double happy for me.
Yeah, double-edged sword, I say.
Yeah, so it was good. It was good.
His post-game press conference was awesome as well. He's like, I gave us no chance to win. I just love the honesty now that he knows he's not the coach anymore. I'm not the coach. I can say what I want. I didn't give us a chance. Young players, heaps of injuries.
I would love for that man just to speak freely. I feel like he'd have some great
opinions. We've spoken about
this
the whole season. We would love everyone to speak freely. Coaches, players. It just makes the game more entertaining. So
it does.
Yeah.
It does.
Anyway, let's get into the pre-finals bye stuff because it's the annual bye that happens every single year. It sparks the same debate. Is it helping? Is it hurting? And all that. So let's look at it. The bye itself. Do you like having the week off? Would you rather be rested, or would you rather roll into it and keep the momentum going? How does that all work mentally for a team that's in finals?
Yeah, I think it's great for us. I think obviously people talk about having a week off and getting the best players to be able to come back and play if they're injured, or essentially refreshing some players that have been carrying a lingering injury for a while. So I'm a big fan of it. I think it also allows you to reset because the first hurdle to trying to win a premiership is making finals, and you try to make top four, obviously, to get a double chance. So once you kind of finish that hurdle, it's like, okay, acknowledge the season that was. Now you're into essentially a new season of finals campaign and, preparing for that as essentially starting from scratch. Because it doesn't matter where you land on the ladder or anything like that. You're in finals, you're in finals. And I think for us, you get that week to acknowledge what was and then try to, obviously look forward to what is going to happen and, the excitement and anticipation of finals. And also, I'm telling you, it's a different level of intensity once you get to the top 8. Those games are just almost twice as crazy because some people know it's win or go home. There's nothing left, and you just got to put it all out on the line. So it's a different level of intensity, different level of just chaos and stuff like that too. So to have a week to really kind of prep for that mentally and physically is I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, and I can see that side of it as well. But how has that changed, if it has at all, in your time at Collingwood? Because you've played in a fair few final series now, so I'm sure sometimes you do want to keep the momentum rolling. The circumstances are that you're in good form. You might want to continue playing, but then other years you might want to actually have a rest and reset and that sort. Has that actually changed in your time at the club?
Yeah, I mean, like we've had different scenarios, I guess, going into finals, but yeah, I think I don't know, like I feel like we've always had a pretty mature group in a sense where, no matter the situation, we always kind of, as a whole, kind of look at it in a holistic way and kind of say, okay, this is what's going to happen, so let's try to figure out the best process going forward and to get the best out of us. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's other years you kind of want to roll straight into it, but I think the majority of us, it's such a grueling year. Like, I don't think people realize just like you go through 24, 25 weeks, wherever it is, of now we got round zeros and pre-round zeros and all this kind of stuff the AFL puts in.
Gather round as well.
Gather rounds and preseason games and everything else, right? It adds up. Yeah. And, you'd be pretty lucky to go through a whole year without getting any injury whatsoever. And people carry injuries without people understanding or knowing. So I think it's one of those things where it's just almost like this breath of relief to go, all right, sweet, we did it. We got to finals. And then you kind of take that day or two and you go, okay, sweet, I feel refreshed. Let's smash into this and let's really focus on what's ahead.
Yep. What about the training schedule? Is it more of a taper off now and you sort of just lay it all back and try and stay fresh? Or is it like a mini preseason to get ready for the big games, as you said?
Yeah, it's, I'd say, I think this week, the first few days, you kind of taper off because you really do have like 12 days. I think we've got 12 days after our game or 13 days till the next game. So the first few days, you get extra days off, a bit more recovery, a bit more of that stuff, But then you do kind of go into, like I think we have like a dinner coming up to kind of acknowledge that we're in finals and, look forward to the month ahead. So there's little things like that you do that maybe aren't physically as exhausting, but mentally kind of prepares you for what's about to come. And then you try to do a lot more team bonding stuff too. So there's little things like that we do to try to kind of bring everyone together, try to, make the place, as connected as possible. Because sometimes you might have a VFL team like us who's lost on the weekend. So now you got half the guys on the list that aren't playing. Yep. And then you got the other half who are playing in a finals campaign. And not everyone's going to be able to play in that finals campaign. You still need to keep those people motivated that, are first, second, third, fourth year players or players like me who, are a chance to play in finals. You have to keep them motivated to keep the group kind of training at a high standard and everything else. Yep. So it's a lot of moving parts, but it's more than anything just trying to have this one club mentality that we're all looking to try to accomplish this goal together and what it's going to take to be able to do it.
Do you feel that as well personally, mentally? Like, is it a switch off thing for you, or are you like, nah, this is full finals mode now?
The last few days I've been able to just kind of chill and just kind of like relax for a little bit. And then, starting probably like today, we'll really kind of kick into it. So it's kind of crazy. I feel like the year kind of just keeps going by so quickly, especially this time of year.
Happens every year.
Holy smokes, round zero versus GWS seems like 3 years ago. And it's kind of like a crazy idea to think. But there's a lot that's happened, and you get to this time of the year and you go, well, that's all happened and none of that matters in a sense for this next little chapter, and you just got to win every game from here on out. So
you're a fan of the pre-finals by then?
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm
just
big
what it
fan
serves.
Yeah, I think so. And
I think there's less advantage to the top four now because the advantage before the pre-finals by that was that if you won that qualifying final, you then get a week's rest. But now every team in the top 8 gets a week's rest, so it takes away some of the advantage. It makes it more even. Saw Brisbane win it from outside the 4 last year as well. But I do see the reset side of things, freshening up the players. I think when you do get that, you get the better games as well because everyone's rested. And the better quality games in finals is what we all want to see. So there's a pro and a con, but I'm not sure. I
was on the fence. On the fence, you could say.
I love sitting on the fence.
Oh, yes.
I love seeing both sides.
Perched up there.
Yeah. Hey, let's move on because there are 9 teams. There's going to be 10 teams. As you said, there's Gold Coast and Essendon still to play tonight. But 9 current teams that aren't playing finals footy this year. So we're going to have a look at this. We're calling this topic bullish or bearish. What do we think of the bottom 9 teams? Do we think they'll rise in 2026 or do we think they'll fall or maybe just stagnate? So let's start with the Swans who finished 10th. Bullish or bearish?
I'm going to go bullish. First year under a new coach. Got to get, obviously he's been there for a while, but I think you really got to settle in this year. Finishing, where they did is not a, it's probably not a pass mark in a sense you want to be in finals, but also they're not at the very bottom of the ladder, which is also a good sign. So I think Sydney, I'm looking at them thinking, if I were to pick someone to be making the top 8 next year, it'd definitely be them. And I think another year under Big Coxy would be, very beneficial for them to be able to understand the game plan, what he wants to do, bring in the people he wants to be able to reach his goals.
Yep.
So I think I'll be bullish on Sydney.
I'm bullish as well. They had so many injuries this year, but we saw once they got some players back, like an Errol Gould, and later in the year, they were so much more competitive, a really good team. They were knocking off some top teams. They were just absolutely ravaged by injury this year, as some of these teams were. So they were playing undersized, especially at both ends of the ground. So, if they can keep their key position stocks healthy, I reckon next season they can be one that rises for sure. What about Carlton?
Jeez,
don't do that. Oh, God.
I'm a bit bearish.
Bit
if
bearish.
I'm being honest. You got Silvani's leaving the club. Already kind of said that. They've had 3 assistant coaches, I think, who've been moved on, I want to say. There's obviously the head coach position. There's been a lot of talk and chatter around that.
I have shown faith in him for next year.
They have, but obviously sacking the people around him that have supported him, who's probably chosen to kind of go through the ranks with him, is probably not a great sign from the club that things are in the right place. So it's going to be an interesting experience. TDK obviously talking about going to St. Kilda.
Yep.
You got Silvani leaving. You got some big names there. Looking to try to get out of there, which is a sign usually things are not too stable.
Yep.
So I think there's going to be a little bit of heartache for Carlton going forward. But it'll be interesting. It's one of those teams that I feel like for the longest time they've had the talent.
Yep.
They've had the talent there. It's just being able to extract that talent to get wins on the board.
Yep.
That just hasn't converted.
Yep. I agree with you, but I would lean, I'm not fully bullish, but I would lean towards that just because of that spine that they still do have, even though TDK's out the door, presumably. You've got Jacob Wiedering, that linchpin down back. You got Paddy Cripps and Sam Walsh in the middle. Jagger Smith will come in next year, and Kuno and Harry Mackay as well up forward. If they do remain, there's still the crux of a really good team there.
Yeah.
I just think it doesn't take too much to click because defensively they are really solid. The issue this year was ball movement. They probably lack a bit of class on the outside. I think that can be fixed in an off-season though.
Yeah.
So if they do make those changes, it does depend again, as I said, on the off-season. But there's enough there to work with, I think. New game plan, freshen things up. I think they can be okay. They are this year's biggest failures.
Ooh.
I'll say that. Based on pre-season expectations, could have been the highest-ranked Victorian-based club this year. Easiest fixture in the comp this year as well, in terms of the double-up games. Only 2 teams played 3 bottom 4 teams twice this year. Carlton was one of them. The other one was Richmond. Yikes. So Carlton blew it this year. They had a chance. There were no excuses.
Jeez, there's the headline right there.
A failure this year, massive failure, but I still think they can turn it around pretty quickly given the ilk of player that they still do have on that list. We've got to move to St Kilda, who finished 12th.
Yes.
We thinking
bullish because they have infinite money at the moment. I don't know why, how, what's going on. How many farms do they have to sell like Geelong? I've got no idea, but I feel like there is just money gushing out the wazoo down there at Moorabbin.
You seen that meme going around of the 2 Lamborghinis in the car park?
Absurd. And I am not surprised by that. It seems like everyone is on St. Kilda's radar. Anyone that's a talent that's free agent, they're going to go after. Pretty wild. But if you are going to bring all these people in, you know what that also brings in? Expectations. Pressure.
Bit of pressure.
So if you sit there and you're going to say, we're going to bring all these big names in who are going to be incredible assets to our club, there's also going to be these expectations that come into the club. So you have to be bullish. You have to be bullish given the fact that their recruiting's bullish.
I'm bullish about them anyway. I mean, Max King will come back. People forget about him. Missed the entire season this year. Good young players. Max Hall emerged this year. Mateus Philippou can hopefully stay fit next season. Asaya has signed on as well. This team played finals 2 seasons ago, which people forget about too. And if you do bring in a TDK and they're linked to Lee Galea and Liam Ryan, we don't know if they're actually confirmed, but if they do bring these guys in, they don't lose anyone. I think they can seriously improve, especially with the players that have to come back. So I'm bullish on the Saints. I'm probably not on Port. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, head coach going out, it's a tough thing to be able to turn things around that quickly with a new head coach. And Travis Boak, obviously a lot of experience there, a lot of leadership going out also. I'm going to be bearish on Port Adelaide, unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like a lot of these teams had a lot of injuries. So maybe it makes sense why they were down this section of the ladder. But Port will get a few players back. I just think the teams around them can rise probably more than they can. What about the D's?
D's bearish also.
Whoa.
These have had a rough trot for, I feel like,
you're
since
a glass
the grand
half
final
empty
that they were.
kind of guy, aren't you?
Yeah, for the last, I mean, we still got a few to go too.
It's going to get real bearish.
So, I mean, we're getting further down the ladder.
Yeah.
So, I think you look at Melbourne. Obviously, it's not the season that they wish they would have. I feel like they always have a lot of high expectations going into seasons, and then whenever they have such high expectations, as soon as they're not matching that, their fans get really fed up. So there's a few obviously changes that have happened at Melbourne this year, and similar to Port Adelaide, and where Sydney's at right now. And I think Sydney, obviously, like I said, is going to be in the 8 next year. But I think this kind of transition phase causes for a little bit of time to be able to click. Yeah, and I think that's kind of what's going to happen with Melbourne.
I'm going to say bullish because I'm really big on fixture and the inequality that exists within it. In the AFL, they are a bottom 6 team, which means they get a bottom 6 fixture for next season. And I still think they've got a lot of good players there. Melbourne, a new coach. We'll see what happens in the offseason as well in terms of player movement. But they had 6 losses this year by single-digit margins.
Yeah.
So they weren't that far away. And they finished in the bottom 6. Good fixture next year. Hopefully stay healthy. I think they can rise next year. Essendon, talk about injury-riddled.
Yeah.
They were pretty stiff.
This is a hard one to really make a comment on because you just don't know. You have no idea. They could have been incredible this year. They could be exactly where they are now.
Yeah.
You don't really know, but I got to go bearish again. I know I'm just a lot of negativity here. I know. I get it. I totally understand that, but
I don't think you do.
I do, but I just kind of look at Essendon, and for as long as I've been here in Australia, Essendon has been...
You can go back to 2004.
Yeah, 2014, and you can go back further. It's just been a rough trot as an Essendon fan, and until they kind of prove me wrong, I can't sit there and be bullish on them.
Yeah.
And it's yet to happen in the 11 years I've been here, so I can't sit there and say magically I'm going to flick a wand and be able to fix it. I don't know what the issue is. I don't know what needs to happen, but it seems as though Essendon just can't figure it out.
I'm a little bit more optimistic. I think the injuries mean we can't really be too critical of them, so I'm going to say bullish for them. Bottom 6 fixture. Always helps, as we said. North Melbourne, they're a pretty tough one as well, I think.
You love to sit on the fence, and I feel like this is a team I'll sit on the fence on. I'm not really sure. Obviously,
copycat, geez.
But their coach is very, very well known to be one of the best that's ever coached, right?
Yep.
So they have that as a leadership role that's steering them in the right direction. They have young talent that's there.
Yep.
That is, I guess developing, getting games, all that kind of stuff. But they still are at the bottom of the ladder. And they have been for a while. So I think they're heading in the right direction. Is it taking a few years to get there? Yes. But, I mean, I look at North Melbourne like 2-3 years ago. It was like one of those teams that you just look at the fixture and you just thought, oh, we're going to hand them the wooden spoon.
Yep.
Now they're actually a team that you look at and you go, they could make some upsets. Who knows what they could be this year. So it's really in between. I'm not really too sure where to go with it. I think if they get a few kind of key positions where they can, rely on them to really pump their team up and get them in a good position, they're actually a chance to fight for finals.
They need to help Nick Larkey out.
Yeah.
He's just a one-man band in the forward line. Cam Zerha just has to play way too tall. If he does become the third banana instead of that second key, I mean, they brought Jack Darling in this year, but I still think they need help for Nick Larkey.
You know what they need? They need a St. Kilda bank account is what they need.
St. Kilda bank account.
St. Kilda bank account.
Sure they've got one.
I'm
sure they've got one.
Yeah. Figure out AFL.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with North. I think they're the team where I'm bearish, but I want them to improve.
I'm the
they're
same.
They're the one where it's like, I would love them to... They have to jump eventually, so hopefully it's 26.
Yeah.
But we said this last year and the year before
exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like I keep saying this, but it hasn't happened yet. So I want it to happen.
23 games of more experience, another preseason into these young players. You never know what can happen.
Yep.
Richmond.
Oh, geez. I actually said sit on the fence here, but I'm going to go back on it. I'm going to say bearish. I think Richmond, obviously a very young team. They drafted a lot of young talent last year.
Yep.
They're still, developing that. I don't think that's something that kind of flicks in an instant, but I look at them similar to kind of what Hawthorn was a while ago in a sense of bringing all these young talent in and then where they're at now. So if they can turn it, it can go really, really well by having that young, confident, young, mature, kind of young age players that have had all these games in them because they drafted very early.
Even more recently, sorry to cut you off, but Brisbane as well. It was grim areas for them for a long time, and now they've made finals last 6 or so years. But
this is how the cycle goes. Is you usually go, hey, okay, we're gonna clear house, we're gonna draft in all these people, and then it takes 3 to 4 years to really see the fruits of your labor. And I think they're probably another year off from really seeing those fruits of your labor, or at least seeing like a big jump in the ladder. So I'm going to be bearish on them this year, but bullish on the year after.
Yeah, well, they intentionally went to the draft. They know they had to rebuild. Yeah. So I'm bearish, but I mean...
But I think most Richmond fans are accepting of that.
There's not that. Yeah, the expectations aren't sky high.
No.
They don't need to be. What about the Eagles? Last one.
Bearish. Bearish again. I've really just gone... real negative on this.
You're just throwing the hammer on all of them.
Yeah, there's obviously Harley Reid just signed for another 2 years. That's a great little get for them. But with Harley Reid signing, it looks like Oscar Allen's see you later. So leadership roles leaving is never a good sign. There's obviously been a bit of drama around that whole situation this year with him meeting up with Sam. But I don't think they're a team that's ready to make a finals campaign. And I look at Fremantle now out of the two Perth teams, and I think like they're kind of the team out of the West that I'm taking to make finals.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't be alone with that. I think 100% of Australia agree with you. I reckon, I'm bearish too. This is a good segue into the next segment, by the way, because it's time for Start Bench Drop. We play the role of selector on these following statements. And the first two actually are about the Eagles. So let's get into it. Mace, start, bench or drop. Oscar Allen's imminent move to Brisbane is proof the free agency concept is not working.
I'll start that. I'm all for players just being able to do whatever the hell they want. Obviously, I have like the American mindset to be like, hey, you can go and play for any team you want.
I get paid $150 million.
I mean, I would love that. I'd be a big fan. I'd be fantastic. AFL sort it. Give us some more rev share. But that's a whole other conversation. No, I think I'll start that because Oscar Allen, it'd be a tough gig. Being a leader at a team at the bottom of the ladder, trying to motivate people on a day-to-day basis. He's been there since 2018. And, at some point in your career, you want to have success.
Yep.
And if he kind of looks at the next 5 years of his career, he probably goes, okay, like if someone who's a Brisbane is looking at him comparatively to a West Coast, and the top priority of your career and what you want to see your future is success, I think anyone with the right mind would be going, probably Brisbane's going to have success a bit quicker than West Coast.
Yeah.
So I think everyone understands what he's doing. Do the, traditionalists of AFL hate the fact that he's leaving and West Coast fans? Yes, of course. But if you put yourself in that same position, you would be making the exact same decision.
The rules exist, and he's exercising his right to explore free agency is what you're saying, and that is absolutely true. See, the other side of it is, and I'm benching this because, as I said, he's allowed to do what he's doing and explore his options. But it's also the captain of the bottom team moving to a premiership contender and the reigning premiers. Now, that's okay because he's allowed to do that, as I said. It's just not a good look for equalisation, even though the Eagles will get compensated.
Yeah.
Maybe what I'm saying is there's a way that maybe it's a different compensation formula that we come up with, or maybe it's a DVI system where if you do want to bring in a free agent as a club, maybe you need to give up a draft pick in the future. Maybe just so it's more fair, so it's not these top players from a bottom club going to a top club. Because as I said, there's a side of it where they can do what they want. If they want to make the move, he can do that. It's his call to make. But you got to make sure that there's equality in the competition. So I'm pretty big on equalisation. I don't think this proves that there is equalisation. Not as much as the draft. That's more compromise, and obviously the fixture I think is wildly unfair. So I'm going to bench that one.
We can agree to disagree.
That's what we're here for. Disagree.
So you love equalisation. I love money.
I love money as well.
I feel like that's it.
Give me the next one.
So Harley Reid committing to West Coast. Start, bench, or drop?
Start. Yeah, it's a big start. I think it's really good to see a young player, up-and-coming player, the biggest name at West Coast right now, sticking fat for another 2 years. He was signed for 2026, but signed that 2-year extension to take it to 2028. I think that's a really, really good sign that he is committed, at least for 2 seasons, when all that money is being thrown around from Victorian clubs, it could be easy to make that switch. But you know that quote that he gave Jason Horne-Francis during the season when he's like, go back to mummy, you left after 1 year? That hits so much harder now. It lands so much better because he has actually signed and has committed to West Coast.
But you can't say that not commit, right? I wonder if he actually...
That's not why.
Yeah, well, I mean...
I love the fact now, in hindsight, that he said that because maybe he did know that he was going to sign on.
Do you think he has a chat with Oscar Allen before?
About what?
Just before he signs on, say like, hey, you going to be here next year?
Internally maybe.
It'd be an interesting conversation.
It wouldn't have affected, even if he did though, it wouldn't have affected his decision because he's signed anyway. And Allen's out the door.
Yeah, but I wonder if they have a little chat of like, what do you think? Give me a percentage.
No.
Just to see what the future looks like. I don't know. Maybe not.
Well, he's not obviously not concerned by it if he's,
As a person that loves money, I'm going to say bench this. Go chase your cash, Harley. Although they are at the bottom of the line, so he's probably getting a fair amount.
2028 is not too far away. He's got time to chase that cash.
He's still,
CBAs might keep going up, mate.
Yeah, we need it too.
Next one for you. Aaron Norton is this year's biggest AA snub.
Yeah. He's definitely up there. Tough gig. I think, like, obviously, the Bulldogs, everyone talks about their forward line and how many different big boys they have up there. If he was the only big, and maybe just one other big in that forward line, right? Yeah. He's kicking, an extra 10, 20 goals a season.
He's also getting more defenders covering him.
Yeah, but I still think if you're looking at that, I guess... I'm not gonna fold to you.
The volume of inside 50 targets would increase, but his job might become tougher.
Yeah, but I still
think 60 goals this year, by the way.
I still think you're not looking past Aaron Norton.
60 goals.
60 goals should be an automatic lock. That's absurd.
At least for the squad.
Yeah, for the squad. You don't need to pick him in the 22, but like you gotta at least make the extended squad.
Yeah.
There's other snubs though. I mean, we talked about. I'm obviously a ruck guy. So Cherry, Cameron, those are the guys I'll look at. You go, wow, they've had some pretty good years. But
what about Darcy Cameron? I mean, you're up close to him. About his season that's been so good this year, and how come he was overlooked?
Oh, he's the number one intercept ruckman, I think, in the comp at the moment. So you look at, I guess, it's probably just depending on what you prioritize as important.
Yep.
Right? Do you prioritize hitouts? Do you prioritize hitouts to advantage? Do you prioritize marks? Do you prioritize disposals? Like, do you prioritize goals? So I'm not sure what the All-Australian selectors do in that sense, but if you look at his season, it's got a fair resume there, and obviously I am biased. There's no doubt about that. I am biased.
You're pessimistic.
Yeah, and I love cash.
You love cash.
And great qualities. But no, I think obviously I've got a bit of a soft heart for him, so I'd love to see him in the Australian squad. He deserves a bit of recognition for the year he's had. Yeah. But we'll do that internally.
The ruck position is a really difficult one because there's only one spot in the team for it. You can pick two ruckmen in the AA team. It has happened before, but you've got to have a pretty exceptional year for that to happen.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that Tristan Sherry and Darcy Cameron weren't exceptional this year. They were, but so many rucks were so good. Max Gorn, Brody Grundy, and Luke Jackson are the three that made the squad. I don't know. It's a tough one. You probably can't have 5 ruckmen in the squad because then, and in the end, you've got to take other players out to bring those players in.
Yeah.
So it is a tough one. But I think
Big man don't grow on trees.
I'm starting the Aaron Norton one. I think he is the biggest snub.
Yeah.
Next one.
Let's go. Josh Weedle's potential return makes Hawthorn a genuine flag threat.
Weedle? Isn't that a Pokemon?
Weddle. Sorry. What is just Weedle? Sorry.
Is that a Pokemon character?
That is.
Is it?
Me and my godson have been looking at Pokemon for the last little chunk. That's why.
Actually?
Yeah.
Subconsciously in your head.
Yeah.
Was it Josh Weddle's potential return makes Hawthorn a genuine flag threat?
Yeah.
I'll say yes because I reckon they're a flag threat regardless because I think
exactly.
all these 8 teams are so close together that I reckon any of these teams can actually win it. But, scans confirmed that he got the all clear from that stress in the back, which presumably ruled him out for the season not too long ago. But now he's a chance of coming back and playing through the VFL for Box Hill in a final this weekend. If he gets through that unscathed, I'm pretty sure he'll be on managed minutes, no doubt.
Yeah.
Then he could be a bit of a wild card selection, X-Factor player for Hawthorn, which they need in that midfield as well. I think that's the one area they do need a bolster, and Josh Weddle can do that. So I'm going to start that. Yeah, I think his return can make them a flag threat if he's fit, if he really is healthy, if he really does come back. They need help in the middle, and I reckon he can do it.
It's funny how finals can change a diagnosis. Finals campaign. Oh, I'm good.
So what is it? You love cash, you're pessimistic, you love conspiracies now.
Yeah, conspiracies are definitely up there. I'm the most American guy you could possibly find. I'll start that. I think obviously they're already a flag threat.
Yeah.
But bringing more players into their 22 that obviously are in their best 22 when they're fit and firing is only going to increase their chances.
He's one of those players that can play anywhere too.
Yeah,
I'll say he's an X factor for the midfield,
Absolutely
but I mean he can play anywhere. So hopefully he is fit and can come back because he's quite fun to watch. All right, almost time to wrap it up, Coxy. Before we do, don't be surprised if, speaking of the Hawks, I'm going early here because we are a week away from finals, but don't be surprised if one of the Hawks or Giants make a prelim this year. I reckon one of those can go on a run. So that's likely to be the elimination final matchup, regardless, even if it isn't. I think those two teams can beat anyone on their day. The Giants especially. So they're getting back, potentially, Brent Daniels, Jake Stringer, Jack Buckley, Jesse Hogan, and Josh Kelly.
Wow.
It's a fair suite of players to bring back for September footy. So they're not one that you probably want to run into, I'll say that.
They'd be a fan of the pre-finals bye.
They would love the pre-finals bye. There's a bit of Bulldogs 2016 about this, getting players back at the right time because of the pre-finals bye.
True.
So could help them.
Yeah, couldn't. Yeah, I think one of them is definitely that team that's outside of the top four that you look at and you go, "Ooh, they could really ruffle some feathers."
Even, like Freo have had a good
Frio's, I mean, they're
second half of the season
kind
too.
of win streak of the moment.
Yeah.
So
Who
I
knows?
can't remember how many of the last 11 they've won, but they're going really well. So it's going to be an interesting finals campaign. I mean, I feel like we maybe say this most years, but there's not really.
But this year is different because you had to have 15 wins just to make it.
Yeah, I feel like
So
it's a lot more even.
It is a lot tight.
Yeah, it's a lot tighter than I thought
Yeah.
it'd be. So totally get that. I'm going to go don't be surprised. Now, I got to give a shout out here, a bit of positivity in the podcast. The Legends game this weekend.
Yes.
I was thinking it's maybe this
It's
week, actually. Thursday,
yeah.
For prostate cancer, obviously EJ Witten is kind of the person that's started this whole kind of thing from his legacy. So it's great to see everyone that's past players and people in the media and stuff get together for it. And we've got an incredible person that I am so excited to see back out on the field.
Who's that?
Cyril Rioli. He's back, baby. He's gone on a flight. He's hopped from one prop plane to the islands to Darwin to a proper jet down to Melbourne. Yeah. And he's going to kick 10. He's gonna kick 10. Give him the ball. Just give him the pill. Put him in the rock. Screw it. 100 disposals, 10 goals. Your man Cyril's gonna be best on ground.
That's a big call.
I don't think it's that big. I think it's expected.
Will you be watching? Yeah, you have to watch.
I'll watch now.
Yeah,
I'll watch this.
It's a great cause. Some good players running around.
Yeah.
Cyril's back.
It'll be funny.
I haven't actually checked the playing lists, to be honest.
Over under 5 hamstrings.
Oh, jeez, that's a good. A lot of these,
that should be the real betting line for the night.
A lot of these guys wouldn't be in great nick.
No,
that's for sure.
Not even remotely.
They wouldn't be stretching the hammy before the game either.
No. They're
in danger.
Yeah.
Over under 5. Take the overs. Take the overs.
Yeah, I'll go overs.
There'll be 40 plus players.
Yeah.
Oh, you're taking the overs.
You're taking the overs.
Yeah. Especially if they're not very recently retired. Again, I haven't seen the list, but
there's some oldies in there.
Yeah.
There's some oldies.
Yeah.
There's some pot bellies.
Cyril kicking 10 though.
Yeah, screw it. Why not? I'll have some fun.
You wouldn't want to play.
We're all here for
wouldn't want to play
that.
on him, that's for sure.
No, hell, I don't think anyone's playing on anyone. No. Everyone's there just have a bit of fun. Yeah. Raise some money for an incredible cause.
You always end up getting a couple of players that do take it that little bit too seriously.
Yeah. There's always one or two.
Eager to see who just racks it up. 40 touches of the melon.
Chad Corns.
Chad
Corns. He's in the team. And I reckon he'll be the guy.
Actually, he's fit. He won't do a hammy.
He'll be running through players.
He won't do a hammy.
Proper tackling.
Yeah.
He'll take it way too serious.
He's out there to hurt some blokes.
100%.
Yeah. Hopefully not. Hopefully we do raise a lot of money for prostate cancer.
That's
as well.
an important
It's a really
thing.
good cause, as you said. Mate, a lot to look forward to. Finals footy next week. We're going to talk about that next week. So I'll see you then.
Yeah, perfect.
Thanks
Sounds
for your
good.
time. And to everyone listening or watching, thanks for your time as well. We'll speak to you next week.